Cyberpunk 2077. You know it, I know it, my nan knows it. It's one of the most infamous games of all time due to its rocky release. But since 2020, CD Projekt Red has been hard at work getting the game to a more playable state. And in 2023, alongside the release of Phantom Liberty, the 2.0 update was released, which revamped the entire game. An updated perk system and cyberware system, vehicle combat, and the police actually chase you now? How was that not already in the game? But is the game any good now? Well, yeah. Obviously, that's a stupid question. But what's the trophy grind like? The game has 57 achievements on Steam, which includes the DLC, and there is a bunch of missables. So I gotta try really hard to remember those, so I don't need to do multiple playthroughs. So I hope you're ready. Strap in, because we have a city to burn. Not really. Please don't put me on a list. The game opens with character creation. I pick the only correct option, max out the cool stats, because of course I do, and get thrown straight into my corporate job. Then, almost immediately, it shows my character looking into a mirror and throwing up. Yeah, if I looked in the mirror and saw that looking back at me, I puked too. What the fuck was I thinking when I made her? I have a chat with some guy called Jackie on my iPhone before making my way over to speak to Jenkins for an important mission. As I walk through the ominous halls of this corporate nightmare, it becomes apparent that I work for Arasaka, who are basically Nintendo, if they made guns. I walk into Jenkins' office and watch him blow up a bunch of astronauts? Fucking hell, I mean, I know Elon's a bit of a prick, but don't take it out on his poor space boys. Some lady calls up Jenkins and calls him a massive skill issue, so he tells me to shoot her. It's a bit harsh, but hey, rich people be like that. I agree, head out to the garage and hop in a flying car. And now this is the life. Drinking champagne that costs more than my house while looking down on a beautiful night city. I land at a bar, kill a couple of people just wanting to play basketball, and make my way inside to chat to that Jackie bloke from before. We chat about the job I was just given before a group of Arasaka goons barge in and take all my money, you bastards! Oh, who knew big corporations were the bad guys? After passing out from the money loss, the game shows a quick montage of all the fun Jackie and I get up to for half a year, and drops me into a car park. Jackie then hands me a USB that I instantly shove into my head, and it throws me into an extended tutorial. Oh fuck, really shouldn't be doing that again. It's not all bad though, as once I learn how to shoot, sneak, and use the sonic screwdriver in my head, I get the achievement, The Fool. Once that's finally done, Jackie and I sneak our way through an apartment complex, killing all the poor residents in our way, and find the target we're here for. A half-dead lady in a bath. What? Luckily, Jackie and I are the more half-alive type people, and drop her outside for the ambulance to pick up. Once the medics with guns leave, we do the same, and Jackie drops me at my apartment and he nicks my car! Oh, you can't have shit in Night City. I go back to my apartment, have a quick nap, and wake up with some kind of cyber virus. Almost as if plugging yourself into a half-dead lady isn't a good idea. Jackie calls me up and tells me about a surprise. So I run downstairs, find him eating some slop, and he tells me he got a job from Dexter Deshawn. Oh, wow, who the fuck is that? Well, it turns out he's the top fixer in Night City. Still no clue what that means, but it must be good. So we head out to go meet him. But I need to kill my cyber aides first. So we make a quick detour to my Ripperdoc, Victor, who just so happens to live behind Misty's shop. That's Jackie's girlfriend, by the way. Victor gives me the cure, and a new eyeball, and I head over to meet Dex. I jump in his cancer smoke-filled car and have a nice chat about stealing from rich people. To cut a long cutscene short, Arasaka has a chip that he wants, and I'm going to steal it. So we gotta take a drone from a gang and scout the penthouse using VR. Easy as piss. I bid goodbye to Dex and decide to meet up with the client of the job, Evelyn Parker. I make my way over to the bar and turns out this is where I killed those basketball players earlier. Oh, this is awkward. Luckily, I don't need to deal with the consequences of my actions as the bar is closed. Guess I gotta keep myself busy until then. Be right back! I return to the bar, presumably covered in blood, and head in to ask about Evelyn. Luckily, she finds me, and invites me to head into the back where she just yaps. And yaps. Let's just skip to the next bit. Evelyn eventually takes me to the back of the back and introduces me to Judy, the VR expert. They both sit me in a chair and take me through a tutorial on how to move around in the VR space by... What is Evelyn doing? Never change, Project Red. One VR robbery later, they drop me into the Arasaka penthouse to find where the chip is being held, as well as some other security details. Then I promptly leave the club before they can yap on anymore. On to the next step, getting the drone from the Maelstrom. As setup for the setup, I call up Militech and set up a meeting which goes well. Maybe blackmailing a big corp isn't the best idea. After only picking the corpo options, we make a deal to pay for the drone with their money. So I meet Jackie, and we head to the Maelstrom base to make a deal with... Holy shit, what the fuck are these guys? I mean, why'd you look like that? Anyway, this is Dum Dum. No, really, his name is Dum Dum. We speak to him for a bit before their leader walks in. This fuck with the hole in his head is Royce. And now he's dead. Whoops. Jackie and I shoot our way out the base just in time for Militech to go in and take the credit for killing the red-eyed freaks. And with that done, it's heist time, baby! I meet Jackie at the Afterlife, the bar for legends. Which is why the bouncer won't let us in, the prick. But after Dex gives the word, we're allowed in. We grab some drinks and meet Dex to get the rundown. Skipping the chat, again, Jackie and I suit up, hop in the AI Uber, and make our trip to Konpeki Plaza. We arrive and check in with a gold lady, who I am extremely rude to.
Sell off your fucking flayed skin as a sleeping bag to a fucking normal person.
But this does get me the achievement, Stanislavski's method. So, you know, I'm not a complete arsehole. Anyway, we make our way up to our room, and after checking out the hologram fish, I send the drone through the hotel to kill a sleepy netrunner and hack into the security systems. Then we make our way to the penthouse to find the chip. We do a little looting before hacking into a freezer to find the USB. That's a strange place to keep it, but whatever. Uh-oh, Mr. Arasaka himself has decided to pop in for a visit. So Jackie and I hide in the vents and watch this colourful cast of characters walk in, including Arasaka Sr. and Jr., Takamura, who I'll talk about a little bit later, and this big fuck. I'm sure he's not important. They have a small argument about Pal World or something, and... oh, well, shit then. Once they leave, we take the opportunity to escape, but everything goes wrong. T-Bug fucking dies. You know, that hacker I forgot to introduce earlier. We get shot off a fucking roof, and the fucking freezer box gets fucking damaged. Out of ideas, Jackie inserts a random USB into his brain, which, disclaimer, stop doing this. Unless you want malware in your brain. We fight our way back to the AI Uber, shoot some drones out the sky with the silenced pistol, and make our way back to Jackie's been shot. Oh, fuck's sake. How'd you manage that? He gives me the USB, which I then proceed to put into my head, because clearly we haven't learned a damn thing. And I take a quick nap. We arrive at Dex's motel, and Jackie decides to sleep on the job, the arsehole. So I go in by myself. I say hi to Dex, who isn't too happy with how the heist went, and decides to shoot me in the head and... Wait a minute. Escorting a chip in a future dystopian setting, and I get shot in the head at the start. This is just New Vegas! And I couldn't be happier. Oh, this also gives me the achievement, The Lovers. The game drops me straight into another scene, but something doesn't seem right. My voice sounds different, I have a Silverhand, and... Oh my god, it's Keanu Reeves! You know, the guy from the SpongeBob movie.
Hello.
Keanu pushes his way on stage to play a beautiful piece of music. Before meeting Diana from Hitman and flying to Arasaka Tower and killing every fucker that's even slightly dressed in red. I fight my way through the tower, get the best piece of dialogue ever written by human hands, and plant a bomb for good measure. As I make my getaway, however, the big fuck from before shoots me from the helicopter, shoots my arm, and takes me prisoner to have a chat with Mr. Arasaka himself. The old guy monologues in front of a mushroom cloud, which is kinda badass, I ain't gonna lie. They plonk a helmet on me and prime something called Soul Killer, and they digitize Johnny to save him on a USB stick. Fucking hell, is this how Pokemon feel? After a quick walk around a room that hurts my eyes, I wake up in my own body in a junkyard, which is just every morning after a night out. Am I right? Hey, no? Okay. After a bit of a crawl, Dex drags me to that Takamura guy from before, who responds by shooting him in the fucking head, and goes to turn me into Arasaka. But Arasaka ninjas with fucking arm blades decide to kill us instead. We fight off the cool assassin guys and get into a little car crash. Takamura pulls me out the car and gets me to call an Uber, and we head over to Victor. This whole next section is just people plugging me into different gadgets, so to cut a very long cutscene short, Victor tells me that the USB is combining terrorist Keanu Reeves' mind with my body, and that I have 3 weeks to live. So, Missy takes me home, offers me a not-so-subtle Matrix reference, and I go to bed. Midway through the night, though, I start dreaming about Keanu Reeves from Super Pets in my bedroom. And honestly, who doesn't? Though it quickly turns sideways when he starts bashing my head against the window. But I can't tell if that's him, or my reaction to whenever someone says, balding boy. Anyway, I take my pills to make Keanu Reeves go away, and I fall asleep. Waking up the next morning, and choosing the best style I'll never see, Takamura calls me to meet for some morning coffee. I happily accept, and head straight over to the cafe, after a few quick side missions. I meet with Takamura, who begs for my help getting revenge for Mr. Arasaka's death, and offers 2 paths to pursue. Evelyn, and an engineer of the USB, Anders Hellman. Now, neither I nor Takamura have any idea on how to get to Anders, but our good friend Keanu Reeves does. Apparently, his old friend Rogue will have some info, and asks to meet her at the afterlife. So I ignore his advice, and head straight to Liz's bar. You know, the one where I immediately killed some guys. Good times. On the way though, Keanu and I stumble into a tarot card on the wall. These are the only collectible in the game, thank God, and all I need to do is scan them and move on with my day. Isaac be damned. I arrive at the bar and head through to the basement and meet with Judy, and convince her to give me a lead which points me in the direction of a place called Clouds. And I checked, she's not telling me to go and kill myself, this place is real. So I drive over to Clouds, sign in with the receptionist who asked me to slot into her computer while she does something, I'm not too sure. But I give her a safe word, chat picks Sky, and I pay $500. Jesus Christ, being a merc is really expensive. I drop off my weapons, meet Sky, sit down on the bed, and...
V, you're dying.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
We continue our strange conversation while I head my finger over the abort button just in case Twitch came rolling in wielding their banhammer. Eventually, I shout the safe word and get the information I actually came to get. Sky tells me that Evelyn came to Clouds for info, but was attacked and escorted out. But a quick examination of her room reveals that she was hacked instead. I then break into the VIP area and chat to this Tom guy, but he just tells me to go and speak to the manager. And this whole fetch quest has annoyed me. So I pull out my inner Karen and march straight into the manager's office where... Whoops. Out of ideas, I check his computer to find that Evelyn was sold to some prick called Fingers. So I fight my way out the building, apologise to the receptionist, and have a little coughing fit, while Keanu Reeves from Swedish Dicks yaps about someone called Alt Cunningham. I'm sure that'll be important later, but it isn't right now, so fuck it, let's go get Fingers. I head down to where this Fingers guy is, walk through your classic Birmingham clinic, push in line and get a meeting with the sleep paralysis demon known as Fingers. God, he's fucking weird. Let me just... Good. Now I feel better. I have a little chat with Judy, and we come up with a plan. Buy porn!
I command you to stop.
Turns out, that's harder than it sounds. The game has me running all over Jig Jig Street like a desperate Redditor before coming up to a drug dealer who only sells porn. And I buy a VR game off him. The future is weird. Even weirder, as soon as I get to Judy's van, I boot up that bad boy and play another of the VR detective minigames. After doing some expert detective skills, we figure out that Evelyn must be at some power plant nearby, so Judy and I race over to try and find her. We arrive and find it surrounded by gang members, so I sneak in, find my way to the basement, and Judy just walks on in. What's the fucking point of me being here, Judy? Anyway, I sneak my way through the rest of the basement while Judy exists, and we finally find Evelyn in not so great shape. I'm sure she'll live, but just to make sure, let me just put the cable back into her head and unplug it again like a real IT specialist. We race her back to Judy's place, let Evelyn rest, and do another scanning minigame. Oh, fucking hell! We basically learn that the French are behind Evelyn's disappearance. Oh, I knew it! Those tower-having bastards! Now we know our next target. I call up a guy called Mr. Hands, who has the best name in the entire game. And he says he'll get some information about the French people, and he'll call me back. So in the meantime, there's someone else I need to speak to. I finally listen to Keanu's advice and drive to the afterlife and chat with Rogue, who takes my money and tells me to fuck off and come back later. Well, fine, fuck you. I'll go do some side missions. Turns out, these side missions are actually worthwhile, as it got me an achievement. During a gig, I hacked someone's fridge and installed all the thingies for the achievement, Christmas Tree Attack. Where was I? Oh yeah, Rogue. I meet Rogue about a day later, and she tells me about Anders Hellman, the lead scientist on the Magic USB, and how to set up an ambush for him. But I'll need some help from someone called Panam. So I go to meet with this Panam while she's elbow deep in a car, and ask for her help in setting up this ambush. But she gets pissy and demands we get her car back from some prick called Nash. Sorry, am I just everyone's bitch in this game? So I climb into this car that isn't Panam's. Don't worry, we'll be committing way worse crimes than Grand Theft Auto later, and we'll drive off into the Badlands. But first, we make a stop at Panam's old gang, the Aldecaldos. We say hello to Mitch, Scorpion, and the other less important gang members before collecting some supplies and driving off towards the ambush point. We set up the ambush and wait until night when the bastards roll up in Panam's car, giving us the perfect opportunity to sneak up and... Well, this was probably easier. And it was! As some prick had the audacity to throw a grenade at me, so I beat him to death. Which gives me the achievement, right back at ya. After burning out the leader's synapse, yes, really, this game is brutal, I swipe Panam's keys and meet her back in her car. While celebrating our victory though, Panam is thirsty for more blood and wants to drive straight to Nash's hideout to kill them all. Yeah, fuck it. What's the worst that can happen? Whoops. A few attempts later, Panam and I blast our way through the gang and throw Nash out of a window before planning our next move. Panam sets up a deal with some other gang unrelated to the first gang, and we drive over to a motel to complete the handover. Panam makes a deal, and we head upstairs to celebrate. And after a quick chat, Panam books the rooms and starts to think of a plan on how to ambush the big shot Corpo. So, since Panam bought me a room, I am going to completely ignore that, and instead get some side missions done. After a casual shoot-up with the local gangs, I meet back with Panam and discuss our next move. Using random tools like a fucking infant, she basically says, EMP make car crash. Sick, let's get it done. We take a short drive, shoot some random debris, and arrive at the power station where we're instantly shot at by drones. So we take the Area 51 mentality and drive so fast they can't hit us, shoot them back, then crash into the core, overload it, turning it into a headache room. We then escape to a nearby cliff to watch the action unfold. We zap the bastard's car as if it were a mosquito, but that wasn't quite enough. The whole power station couldn't take out one car. Well, shit then. What are we gonna do? Panam, what the fuck? Well, now that we know that Panam can summon a fucking rocket launcher on command, she blows up the AV, and we race to the crash site. We arrive, and a quick scout out informs us that Kang Tao has already blocked off the perimeter, and Mick and Scorpion from the Aldecaldos are also here. So we race in, beating a bunch of robots with hammers, before arriving at the AV, and hack our way inside. I pull off the best hostage rescue ever, and save Mitch. But we weren't quick enough to save Scorpion. Oh well, I wasn't that attached to him anyway. He had a cool hood though. Turns out, Hellman has also escaped. Ugh, great. Mitch lends me his bike and I track him to a nearby petrol station, where I proceed to single-handedly raise petrol prices in the area. I would apologise, but I also get to punch a rich guy. So I won't. I call up Takamura to let him know that the mission is a success, and drag Hellman outside, say goodbye to Panam, and make my way over to a motel room. Inside, I slap the rich guy again and question him about the USB in my head. After a lot of questions, and comments from Keanu Reeves, Hellman tells me that my meat brain has deteriorated, and that I need the USB to live. Just in time, my best friend Takamura arrives to tag me out. Hellman gives us some blueprints, and I leave him alone with Takamura, who I can only assume took him out back and shot him in the head. Then Keanu Reeves from Coca-Cola, Coke is It, appears and rants about capitalism or something. And I get the achievement, the Wheel of Fortune. Now that I've come back from my little trip in the Badlands, I turn my attention back to Evelyn's disappearance. Luckily, Mr. Hands has set up a meeting with me, so I make my way over to a little chapel in Pacifica where... It's closed? Oh, fuck's sake. I wait outside until it's open, like the good Christian boy I am, and head inside to find the Jesus Rave. Here, I am met by my Voodoo Boys contact, who sends me to a butcher, who sends me to a guy, who sends me to Placide, who is supposed to lead me to Brigitte, their leader, but I have to do a job for them first. Something, kill a netrunner in GIM. Cool, easy, I can do that. I head over and sneak into the GIM, taking out the local animals as I go. The gang, not the wildlife. I don't think this game has wildlife. And stumble into the netrunner's van, and give it a good scan. And turns out, this netrunner works for Netwatch. Oh my god! I don't know who they are! Luckily, the characters do, and it turns out they're a big deal. So much so that the Netwatch agent locks me in the GIM and sends the gang of animals after me. Thankfully, this gang are full of stupid people, and I sneak through the mall towards the agent and... Why do I hear boss music? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, no, 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 no. Fuck off. Fuck off! Right. Let's try that again. I take down the boss, I think, and make my way to the movie theater and walk in on the Netwatch agent watching Red Dead Redemption on the Switch. This metal chin prick explains that the French have set me up to fail and they can pay me more than they ever could. Blah blah blah, just punch him and get it over with. I hack into his brain before experiencing a brain glitch and passing out. I wake up to Keanu Reeves from Letting Go, explaining that the French did set me up and he's the only reason I'm alive. Fine. Looks like I have some voodoo boys to have some stern words with. I leave the GIM, get a taxi ride from the French guys, and arrive at the gang's HQ, where I give Placide a piece of my mind.
You cheating scumbag. Arseholes like you spoil it for everybody else. Good night.
Before I can punch him though, Brigitte appears to move the story along. Finally. She agrees to examine the USB in my head and maybe remove it. So she takes me to the basement of the rave church and yaps on about some technobabble along the way. Ugh, whatever, I'm gonna go and jump into an ice bath now. This ice bath takes me back to the I Hurt room, where Digit sends me back in time to 2013. The good old days. The year of GTA 5, The Last of Us, and the 47 Ronin starring Keanu Reeves. Speaking of, what's he up to right now? Jesus Christ. Keanu goes backstage to speak with Alt Cunningham, the lady he mentioned before. They do a little dance in the dressing room and head outside for a smoke when a couple of crackheads show up. So, I do what any reasonable person does in this scenario, and shoot them all in the head. But whoops! Keanu's been stabbed through the stomach, and Alt's been kidnapped! Just another day in Peckham, really. Keanu wakes up in the hospital, and is told by this prick that Arasaka has kidnapped Alt for the Soul Killer program. So he packs up his shit, and drives straight to... Rogue. Yeah, she's cool too, I guess. He asks for her and his advice. I don't remember his name. And they agree to raid Arasaka together, but not before Arasaka goons come to get them first. So they fight their way through the bar and make it back to Keanu's car to escape. They reconvene and discuss their next move on Arasaka Tower. They need a distraction, and Keanu has the best idea. Play their best song outside the tower. This song, for some reason, starts a riot, giving the group the perfect opportunity to break into the tower. They fight through more Arasaka guards, and some guy called Akira, before breaking into where they're holding Alt. Turns out she's dead. Well, not really. Back in the I Hurt room, Keanu tells me that Alt is alive, but is just chilling in the internet, which truly is a fate worse than death. But this means she can still help us. So I head back to Digit, who takes me to the Black Wall. Basically, the Far Realms for hackers, which is where I meet Alt. Again, Christ, this is confusing. Look, to cut a lot of yap short, Keanu and I talk to Alt about getting the USB out of my head. She agrees if we can get her into Mikoshi in Arasaka Tower. And with that, I jump out of the ice bath, say goodbye to Brigitte, and race out of the rave church for the achievement, The Hermit. Okay, I think I've kept Takamura waiting long enough. He's hell-bent on getting revenge on Arasaka by getting to Hanako Arasaka, so I offer to help him out. He tells me to meet him under a highway so he can meet his friend, Hanako's bodyguard. He arrives and basically tells us to fuck off. Great. Good job, Takamura. Got any other bright ideas? Turns out, he does! I guide him over to Wakako, who gives us some details on the Arasaka parade that'll be flying through Japantown, including potential sniper spots and drone paths. So now that we have all the info we need, Takamura tells me to... wait. While he investigates. You know I'm dying, right? Fine. While he goes and does whatever he does, I go and complete some more of the countless side quests, during which I help GLaDOS, for some reason, and pull off a sick trick shot and shoot a grenade out of the air for the achievement Gunslinger. After a while, Takamura invites me back to Japantown to talk over what he's discovered. Turns out, nothing we didn't already know, but he does give me a way to hack into the local CCTV network. So I sneak in, hack it, and leave. God, Jesus, what a hard mission. I think we should sit down and have some balls on a stick. But the plan isn't over yet, as I need to break into another Arasaka compound. I let Takamura feel useful for once and scout it out, while I do another side mission. This side mission isn't just aimless dude shooting though, there's an actual plot, and an achievement. Wow! Earlier, this rich lady called Elizabeth called me about a job, and since I need money, I accept and agree to meet her. I arrive, sit in her car, and she, with her husband, brief me on the mission. Solve the mayor's murder. Christ, that's a bit heavy, innit? They give me a USB, and I do that fucking VR detective minigame again. Oh, fuck's sake. While fucking around in VR, however, I'm introduced to River. Not River Song, though. River Ward, a detective who shoots mantis blade psychos on sight. Like a badass. I finish up in VR, I get a rich guy to give me River's phone number, and I continue the investigation. I call him up, and we agree to meet at the local 50s diner. After telling his partner to fuck off, we have a chat about the mayor's murder in public, with plenty of people around. Maybe not such a good idea, so we hop into River's old banger and get the case on the road. First stop, River's contact. We arrive at the club when River runs someone over, and I step in to talk to the CI. And I can't show any of this on YouTube. Great. Cut to us abusing the guy in the alley. Thanks. The CI gives us the information we need, the location of the mayor's death, and we head out to speak to the attacker's boss. We arrive at the marked location, and this Lois Griffin sounding ass tells us that the crazy person with blades for arms is a bit nuts. Yeah, thanks lady. You don't need to be a detective to figure that one out. Well, River does, but that's beside the point. Back at the car, River scares some people away by calling their mate a paedophile, and we race off to the Red Queen's race. River and I burst through the front doors, killing every poor fucker in, well, my sights. River's trying his best. And open a door into the Red Queen's Race Club. We head in, beat more people with hammers, and speak to a dead person for all the answers. With my amazing detective skills, and the CCTV camera that gave me all the answers, I find out that the mayor was killed by a virus in his VR headset. Oh, the fucking metaverse. But even more shocking, River's partner from before tried to cover it up. Not very well, obviously, but nevertheless, we run back to the diner to confront him. But this doesn't go anywhere. He gives a villain monologue, calls River a skill issue, and leaves. Well, it's time to get paid. I drive over to the rich people's very fancy house, give them the info, get the money, and leave. Well, that was a nice distraction. I wonder what other fun quests I can do. Oh, Judy has a quest for me. Sick. I like her, and she has an achievement. Oh, can't wait to see what fun things we get up to. Evelyn killed herself. Well, this is awkward. I comfort Judy on the roof and get her to call if anything comes up before leaving to give her some space and look for something to lift the mood. Oh look, River wants to meet again. Oh yes, it's time to do some cool detective child abduction. Oh, fuck's sake, game. You allergic to giving me a happy quest or something? Anyway, River and I break into a children's hospital. Yes, this is awful. To find clues on River's abducted nephew, Randy. I look around, looting any money I can, because if I'm doing crime, I might as well go all in, and find files on one Anthony Harris, the kidnapper in question. But before we can do anything with them, this massive nerd turns up and tells us to leave. But after some begging and persuading, she gives us a BD, and we go on our merry way. After a long drive, River takes me to his sister Joss's house so I can deliver the news that her son has been kidnapped. Wait, River? What the fuck am I doing this? He's your nephew! While Joss is understandably pissed, we root through the victim's shit to find any clues. While looking through Randy's room, River finds a laptop that has a silly cartoon on it. This cartoon is kind of important though, as it could connect us straight to Anthony. So after a quick eat and sleep, River excitedly wakes me up to put me in VR. Fine, but this is the last fucking time. After watching some bad teaching, parenting and farming, we figure out where Anthony is taking his victims and race over to his farm. We arrive, avoid the traps and break into the barn where we find a bunch of victims in a really bad Doctor Who cosplay. I turn off the machine while River calls for backup, help them out of their fancy dress and save them all. Outside, I sit with a nice coffee and convince River not to go full psycho and kill a coma patient. This man is horrible. And we say our goodbyes. Right, let's hope there's a happier mission on the horizon. But first, let's see how Takamura's getting on. Okay, he's just fucking about now. So I'm gonna do the same. While doing some side gigs, I become a true American and shoot 300 people to death, giving me the achievement, True Soldier. So, to balance it back out, I go back to my British roots and kill 100 people with melee weapons, for the achievement, True Warrior. And before I can do any more murder, Panam has a mission for me. Remember her? From like 7 pages ago? I drove over to the Aldecaldos camp and used their Ripper dock to buy a few tools for later, and speak to Panam. Apparently, their leader Saul has been kidnapped, and it's up to me to save him. Easy as piss. After a quick scout of the camp, Panam and I drive over to where Saul is being held, and I sneak through the camp, making sure to distract any guards I come across with my sonic eyeball. And doing this a good few times this mission gives me the achievement, Must Be Rats. So, I sneak in and use the cameras to find Saul. I make my way downstairs, grab him, and make our escape, only to find a meme from 2010 has hit the area. Saul and I escape to the van, and the three of us make a clean escape. Kinda. With nothing but sand in our faces, we find shelter and hide out there for the night. Next morning, Saul fucks off, Panam gives me a sniper before saying goodbye and riding off into the sunset. But, what do I do now? I guess I should... fucking finally! I drive over to meet Takamura and we go over the next step of the plan. My job is to sneak into the Arasaka compound and sabotage the parade floats. Easy enough. So, while Takamura tries to leave as subtly as he can, I make my way to the compound and infiltrate without being seen. All those stealth missions from Ghost of Tsushima are really coming in handy right now. I make my way back to the compound, killing a few Arasaka grunts on the way, and hack the floats before escaping through the roof of the compound without anyone seeing me. Oh, fuck yeah. Now we're ready to...
Now we retreat into the shadows and arm ourselves with patience. I will contact you before the parade.
Takamura, if you tell me to wait one more time, I will punch you so hard your cyberware will backdate to Windows fucking 7! While looking for something to do, River calls me up again asking to come and meet him at Joss's house. Fuck it, why not? I drive over and just have a nice day. Yeah, there's no risk of death or cyberpsychos or anything. I just stir some slop, talk about dead parents, and kill people in VR. Pretty fun, all in all. After a bit of dinner, River invites me up to the top of the water tower, where he gives me his gun, which I almost immediately use to commit first-degree murder, and have a little chat, and we go to bed. I wake up the next morning, say my goodbyes, and never talk to River again, giving me the achievement to protect and serve. And for some reason, this mission made me famous, as I reached the max street cred level, giving me the achievement, Legend of the Afterlife. And almost as if on cue, Panam calls me up again to ask my help. I reach the Aldecaldos camp and walk in on another argument between Panam and Saul. Apparently, there's something called a basilisk that they want, but Saul is too much of a bitch to get. But I guess that's why I'm here. So we head on over and Panam introduces me to the rest of the camp, whose names I can't remember, and goes over the plan. Something about a train heist? I wasn't really listening, I was too distracted by this Red Dead looking ass. I jump in Panam's car and ride to stage 1 of the plan. Hack a train. We arrive and immediately get to work. Panam and I head into the tower for codes, some start the hack, while others sit around and drink. Wankers. While in this tower, I do a little bit of looting since no one else is going to. And doing this gave me a lot of components, which I convert into legendary components. Which very anticlimactically gives me the achievement Master Crafter. I get the train running, and the group gathers by the fire to tell stories and play guitar. But after Panam tells possibly one of the worst jokes I've ever heard...
Dear, that means there's a major leak.
I decide enough's enough and go to sleep. The next morning, I am rudely awakened by the group rushing off to the Great Basilisk heist, so I join Panam in her car and race off to join the fight. The train stops the Militech convoy in their tracks, and we bombard them with bullets and baseball bats. And during this fight, I pull up my newest cyberware, Berserk. I activate it, double jump off a car, and slam into the ground, killing a bunch of Militech soldiers around me, not only making this one of the coolest things I've ever done, but it also gives me the achievement, Rough Landing. With the Militech cleared out, we grab the Basilisk, which turns out to be a really cool tank, and head back to the Aldecaldo camp where Saul isn't too happy. So Panam pulls out her inner Skylar White.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And the gang goes to unload the package. I say my goodbyes and assume I'll be called into action again real soon. Right, I've given him enough time. I'm heading back to Japantown to speak with Takamura and get this parade started. Luckily, he's already here and gives me a rundown on what to expect. Basically, I need to sneak around while Takamura does the cool thing and jumps onto a parade float in midair. The parade starts, and I make my way through the crowd and sneak past drones to pick off the snipers one by one. Once the snipers are down, my next target is the Netrunner. So I parkour over and rip out her connection while she's distracted by TikTok. And with that, Takamura should be able to... fuck. Turns out, Takamura's mate from before ain't too happy with me fucking about with Arasaka business. So, I guess we have to fight now. This boss fight is pretty fun, until he starts levitating. Then it becomes child play. Eventually, I burn out his synapse and leave him floating in the air while I hack the float, allowing Takamura to make his way in and kidnap the woman we're after. I escape the scene and meet up with Takamura in an abandoned apartment building and have a chat with Hanako about the USB stick in my head. But before she can say anything, Arasaka think it's a brilliant idea to bomb the room they're hostages in, causing the whole floor to collapse. Well done, fucknuts. But here, ladies and gentlemen, is where I made my biggest mistake yet. You see, past me was too busy talking to chat about Elden Ring Night Rain to realise that I could go back and save Takamura, meaning I left him there to die, locking me out of one of the ending achievements. Past me is a fucking idiot. I make my escape to a motel in the middle of nowhere, while Keanu Reeves from Thumbsucker rants about motels, and I get a knock at the door who turns out to be some random woman. Oh wait, no, it's Hanako using this woman as a phone. What the fuck? Basically, she agrees with me and wants to meet at a place called Embers. Sick, I can do that. Not right now though, I've got to have a USB-based seizure. I wake up and it turns out that Keanu Reeves from Keanu managed to pilot us to a hotel in Pacifica, and we have a bit of a heart to digital heart. Keanu says that we're friends now, gives me a little medal to prove it, and wants to speak to Rogue one last time. I agree, leave the motel, and get the achievement, the High Priestess. So, turns out, arriving at Embers to speak with Hanako is the point of no return, and I have so many achievements left. So, let's start checking them off. As predicted, Panam can't get enough of me and wants my help one final time. I make my way all the way back to the Aldecaldo camp, stop by the Repodoc for my final piece of essential cyberware for the achievement Full Body Conversion, I make my way over to Pan Am, where I find the crew has gotten the tank up and running. And they want me to drive! Oh, you guys are the best. Pan Am and I drive out into the wilderness and test the tank's functionalities. Badly. Before a rival gang decide to fuck with us. So I turn them to red mist. Don't fuck with a tank. Once the camp has been turned into a thoroughly fucked up barbecue, Pan Am gets promoted to camp leader and we have a drink to celebrate. Pan Am jumps behind the bar, gives me a spunky monkey. No, really. That's what the drink's called. And she asks me to join the family. Ugh. Awkward. Well, instead of giving her an answer, I decide to have a USB seizure and collapse. I wake up later in a tent and tell Pan Am about the voices in my head. But instead of locking me up in an asylum, she instead offers her help in getting a cure. And with that, I say my goodbyes and get the achievement, Life on the Road. On my drive back to the city, I get a call from none other than Judy. I had pretty much forgotten about her. She asked for my help in avenging Evelyn and asked me to meet her at Clouds. You know, that place where I beat the manager to death? Oh, good times. I climb up the side of the building and meet Judy outside. She breaks the door open and we burst into the office to speak with Maiko. We demand she starts a mutiny and she tells us to fuck off. So we do. Judy, that was a waste of my fucking time. But she hasn't done just yet and says she'll call me back when she has a plan and an army. Not concerned in the slightest about what she just said, I spend my time doing some more side gigs around the city. And I die! It's okay though, because that last piece of cyberware I installed earlier was a second heart, meaning I can just stand back up and kill the prick who just killed me for the achievement V for Vendetta. And after killing another 2 unfortunate gangsters who were just in the way, I got the achievement Gun Fu. So, after a few more murders and small acts of terror, Judy invites me back to her apartment for some pizza and a plan. Oh, you had me at pizza. Arriving at her place, I meet our new recruits, No Shoes Tom and Itchy Roxanne. Micah then walks in late and we discuss our ideas on how to take down Clouds. Well, they do. I'm too distracted by the pizza. But I'm sure I'll understand when the time comes. I sleep on Judy's couch before gearing up for the big mission. I meet Judy, Tom, and Roxanne at the bottom of the mega tower and make our way inside. I let the others do what they had planned. I think take people hostage, while I sneak in to the penthouse to meet Maiko and the rest of the Clouds leaders. But I arrive to a betrayal. Turns out, Maiko wants to run Clouds all by herself, which I don't think was the plan. Was it? Oh, I don't know, I'm really confused. So, I do what any sane man would do in this situation, kill everyone in the room, and then leave. Turns out, Judy isn't super happy with this outcome, and leaves herself. I suppose it's going to be a little while before Judy talks to me again, so I continue about my day doing some little odd jobs here and there, and manage to kill enough people in slow-mo to get the achievement, The Quick and the Dead. And I think it's time that I help Keanu Reeves with one little quest. I drive over to the afterlife and go over the plan with Keanu Reeves from Comedy Factory. I take the pill, and he should just walk in and get any info about that big guy from the start of the game. But instead, he commits crimes? Keanu, I'm disappointed in you. Well, after he gets drunk, punches a poor man, and nearly kills a woman in a car crash, he actually does something useful. He gets some info on some guy who works for the big boy, Grayson. I wake up to Rogue watching over me, and she invites me on the job to kill Grayson. Ah, fuck yeah! Excited, I drive back to the afterlife to meet with Rogue, who gives me a little present. Oh, damn right, it's the cannon jacket! I'm gonna need to collect a few more of Keanu's belongings for an achievement though, but this is a good start. So, now that I'm cosplaying as my favourite terrorist, Rogue and I drive over to the docks to find Grayson. We wait until night, and sneak through the compound and onto a boat where he automatically finds me. Fine, whatever. But turns out, this Grayson guy is using Keanu's old gun, and I want it. I run up to see that Rogue has already shot the poor bastard, and I grab the sexy looking pistol before interrogating Grayson. He tells us that we can't get to Mr. Guns for Arms as he's the head of Arasaka Security, and reveals where Keanu Reeves is buried. Cool, I guess. But as I'm about to shoot him, Grayson successfully offers me a little gift in exchange for his life, which I obviously take. I love presents! As Rogue storms away empty-handed, I lower the cargo container and crack it open to find the Reeves-mobile. Not only is it a sick-looking car, it gets me one step closer to an achievement. In my brand new car, I head out to the Badlands landfill and find nothing. This makes both Keanu and I so sad that I crack my neck in a very unusual way. After a bit more of a heart-to-heart and a promise to call Rogue, I think we can now officially say that Keanu Reeves and I are best friends forever. Or until I kick him out of my head. But best friends until then! Now that I've made a new friend, it's about time I catch up with some old ones. And thankfully, Judy was thinking the same, and calls me up to meet by a lake. Not my first choice, but sure. Well, as soon as I arrive, I realise why she wanted to meet here. We're going diving. Ugh, underwater levels, my favourite. Thankfully, all of my cyberware is waterproof, otherwise this would have been a very expensive swim. So, Judy takes me around a sunken town which I think she grew up in? Not sure, I kinda zoned out for a lot of this. And clearly, V was getting just as bored as I was, and decided to have another USB seizure to try and get out of it. It works, and Judy has to pull me to the surface all by herself. Not sure how she did that exactly, but I'm impressed. So, after a quick cuppa, a comforting chat, and a sleep, I meet Judy by the lake again, but this time, she tells me she's leaving Night City. Honestly, that's probably for the best. I mean, have you seen the stab rate here? Even Birmingham has surrender bins. Anyway, I say my goodbyes to Judy, and get the achievement, Judy vs Night City. So, with one day over, I suppose I should start my other one. I call up Rogue and ask her to the movies and meet her outside the afterlife. We drive up to an old, abandoned drive-in cinema, break in as Keanu Reeves from Kellogg's Cornflakes says, "Wham bam shalala," and I head upstairs to put on a fitting movie. Though I couldn't find anything popular, so I just shove on some movie called John Wick and hand over the reins to Keanu. Rogue and Keanu have a nice time watching the movie on the burnt out husk of a car, chatting about the old days and whatnot, but things turn south when Keanu tries to make a move, and Rogue responds with,
"I preferred you in Bill and Ted," before
storming off again. Oh, wow. What a bitch. But this at least gives me the achievement, Bushido and Chill. I reclaim my body and try to cheer up Mr. Reeves, but the only way I can do that is by visiting one more of his old friends. Kerry Uridine. Who the fuck is that? I rock up to Kerry's house, which... well, damn. He's done well for himself. Robot security and everything. Would be a shame if some druggie broke in. So I break into his house and load up on pills so that Keanu Reeves from Babes in Toyland can take over and chat to his old mate. And what better way to do that than nab one of his guitars and make a fuck ton of noise. Understandably, Kerry isn't very happy with this and comes out to shoot me. Well, he would have done if I wasn't playing his favourite song. So he just hits me around the head instead. But once that's out of his system, Kerry is okay with his dead friend breaking into his house, and they end up drinking and watching a movie together. And just like all catch-ups go, they suggest getting the band back together. Literally. So once I get my body back, I ignore a text from River, and call up some lady called Nancy, only for some prick called Steven to answer. I fucking hate Steven. Apparently, Nancy went to a club to get some information about the Maelstrom, and we all know what happens when you try and talk to them. So I race over to the club and get invited inside by the club owner. I think. I don't know, but she seems nice enough. She walks me through the club to go to meet Nancy, who is being beaten up. Right, time to die. Nancy and I shoot our way out of the club and drive off in her vehicle that I barely call a car. On the drive home, I convince her to set up a gig for Samurai's return and leave her to do just that. At the same time, Kerry's gotten the other two members together, so I drive up to meet them and they're not on the best of terms. Turns out, this guy called Henry filled this gal called Denny's pool with cement. So I tell him to fuck off. Not because of the cement thing, but because Denny has a really cool baseball bat. So now the band is all together, I just need to wait for Nancy to call, and I think I need to look the part. So I head to a local garage and take care of a pest problem before opening a locker and finding some shoes. But they're not just any shoes. They're the last part of the Keanu Reeves set, which makes me look breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
Oh shit, that's the name of the achievement. Eventually, I get a go-ahead from Nancy and meet up with the rest of the band at the Red Dirt, which, side note, is the worst club name ever. I take some Keanu enhancing drugs before going on stage and performing the best song Samurai has ever played. After the song, I have a quick catch up with Kerry. We trade guitars, guns, and my hands, apparently, and say our goodbyes and leave the Red Dirt. While I'm going around Night City, completing gigs and throwing people, Kerry calls me about a job. Fuck it, I wasn't doing anything important. So I head to the meeting point, jump into Kerry's car, and head over to the city border and set out a spike trap for some poor, unsuspecting delivery drivers. We pull them out of the truck, tell them to run, and I throw a grenade into the van, destroying all the musical gear inside. Well, it would, if I used the right grenade. Idiot. A few attempts later, it works, and Kerry and I book it to get the police off our asses before heading to a diner for some coffee. But instead of a debrief or some casual coffee talk, Kerry just rants about how much he fucking hates K-pop. So he's a Redditor. Got it. While waiting for Kerry to develop his master plan, I clear up some gang sites across the city and manage to blow up some people by hacking their grenades, getting me the achievement, Demon in the Shell. I head over to the concert where Kerry and I break in, steal a VIP pass, and sneak backstage to point a gun at the Powerpuff Girls. After a very heated debate, turns out both Kerry and these Powerpuff Girl ripoffs all got screwed over, and they're friends now. And to solidify their friendship, they want a group picture all together. So I take a picture of a random cat instead. And leaves them to his business. In the meantime, I found a cool sniper. So I go to test it out on the local gangs and get a double kill. And the achievement, 2 heads, 1 bullet. After 24 hours of waiting, Kerry calls me to meet him at Dark Matter. So I do just that and find him getting along very well with the Powerpuff Girls. He takes the opportunity to ditch the crowd to have a chat with me upstairs on the balcony and have a heart-to-heart, which I wasn't really listening to, but I picked all the right options. As after another 24 hours, this man is getting on my fucking nerves. He invites me onto a boat. I jump on, listen to Kerry's guitar playing, which gets incredible when he does this. Oh, just like I used to play. But Kerry's destructive streak isn't over, as he heads inside to break fucking everything. And honestly, it would just be a bit awkward not to join in. So we turn the boat into a rage room and jump into the sea. Sitting on the beach, we watch a boat worth more than me sink into the ocean. I say goodbye to Kerry and get the achievement to Bad Decisions. And so, there's only one more thing I need to do. Something I've put off for a long time. Time to start Phantom Liberty! I arrive at Dogtown, which is a great name by the way, and look for Songbird, the lady who called me earlier, but I forgot to mention and I'm too lazy to edit back into the script. After a quick search, I have a bit of a seizure before being met by Songbird, a netrunner who introduces herself by fucking deleting Keanu Reeves from the last time I committed suicide. Okay, you can stay. She tells me that the president's plane is due to crash in Dogtown, and tasks me with saving the president. And to help, she gives me access to the last section of the skill tree, the relic tree. This will be useful later. But for now, we have a president to save. I sneak into Dogtown, killing a few guards and hacking some old tech along the way, and make my way through the market and up to a building to get a great view of the plane crash, made better by the missiles thrown at it. Oh, I love fireworks. This sends the plane down harder than planned, however. So I jump into action, and the slide, and race down the street towards the crash site. I sneak past some guards and climb a scaffolding to get an overview of the crash site. And turns out, the Dogtown guards have swarmed the area like English people to a pub during the footy. So I give them exactly what they deserve. I finally arrive at the plane and find everyone inside dead. I mean, what did I expect? Luckily, the president was in the safe room at the back of the plane. So I go in, pin the president to a wall, and aggressively tell her that I am here to save her. Before we can leave though, there's another explosion as more Dogtown guards come in to kill the president? Kidnap the president? It's unclear, but I wasn't giving them a chance to clarify. So I go around and kill every single intruder while the president is there, and we leg it to a nearby building, which gives me the achievement, All the President's Men. Inside, the president has a bit of a Facebook mum moment, and said she's being tracked and that she can't trust the government. Yeah, okay boomer, like there's a tracker in your neck. Oh well, shit then. I rip it out just as drones begin to search the area, so we sneak through towards the entrance and nick a car on our way out, and race to an underground car park to hide out in. Well, I do. The president doesn't quite understand the urgency of the situation. We find ourselves in some kind of museum, and slowly make our way through, making sure not to be too loud in case the Dogtown militia tried to find us. Ah, well fuck me then. The president and I fight back against the endless waves of people until Songbird decides to help and hacks a fucking spider tank. Holy shit! Oh, I'd love to see Keanu Reeves try that. Once all the Dogtown guards are dead, Songbird starts to glitch out, sending the tank into a frenzy as it tries to kill us. So the president and I both run through the complex, dodging lasers and missiles before losing the president through a left shaft and collapsing the floor underneath the spider tank. But falling several stories isn't enough to kill me nor the spider tank, so we have one final scrap, allowing me to finally finish this motherfucker off, giving me the achievement, Arachnophobia. Now that it's quietened down, the president and I make our way through the tunnels to get to the safe house, finding out that Keanu Reeves from Little Buddha is alive along the way. We jump into a lift and take it up to our safe room, which we quickly scout out and power up before cracking open a few cold ones. This is rudely interrupted by a few thugs who, as of writing this script, I do not give a fuck about. But we let them stay anyway, and get some rest to think of a plan. The next morning, I have a chat with the president, and we decide our next step is to find Songbird. And to do that, we need help from one Solomon Reed. So she gives me the access code to his dog whistle, and sends me on my way. I head over to an abandoned restaurant and break in, blow myself up, and find an old payphone behind a shelf and put in the code. But when I call, Solomon doesn't pick up. Probably because Keanu Reeves had to show me how to use a payphone like I'm some kind of fucking TikTok baby. With a mission failed, I say fuck it and go to watch a basketball game instead. During the game, however, I am interrupted by a man with a gun. Just like most NBA games, really. I prove that I work for the president, and he tells me to get into his car. So, ignoring all the advice my parents gave me as a kid, I jump into this stranger's car and... oh my god! It's Idris Elba! You know, from A Very Sonic Christmas.
You chose the wrong hedgehog.
Idris is kind enough to drive me back home to the safe house and get some mission details from the president. After a not so pleasant conversation, he agrees to save Songbird and says he'll call in 2 days. You're taking the piss, Idris. So I go around and complete a few side gigs, with a side of Grand Theft Auto, before Idris calls me back and tasks me with recruiting a new friend. So I head over to meet her at the bar. I sit down and grab a drink as Idris Elba from Space Precinct steps through the door, which causes everyone to leave and the bartender to regenerate. Oh, he's so cool. Turns out, this is Alex, our new friend. Or she will be, after I convince her outside.
Could spit in Reed's drink if it'll make you feel any better.
Right, now she's convinced, we come up with a plan to find Songbird. And step 1 is to find a netrunner. Alex knows just the one. Slider, a Voodoo Boys member. Ah, fuck. So Idris and I make our way to the Voodoo Boys hideout. I speech 100 my way inside, and we find Slider doing his very best Palpatine impression. He agrees to help, and we plug into each other, so he can scan the USB to find Songbird. But Songbird finds me instead. Oh, thanks Songbird. Couldn't have done that before. She tells me she's at the Black Sapphire before being thrown out, killing Slider on the way. Great. Now we need to explain this one to the rest of his mates. We go outside and explain to the rest of the gang before coming up with a plan to get into the Black Sapphire. I call up my old friend Mr. Hands to arrange a meetup. So, because the game hates me, I gotta wait a few hours before I can meet with him. So I do some more side quests and eventually stumble onto one special one. Turns out, the bloke I've been stealing cars for wants a special car and will pay handsomely for it. So I make my way over to the Arasaka docks and sneak over to the trucks to make my escape. Probably getting some guy killed in the process, but fuck him! He's not a truck! I deliver the truck, get given a brand new shiny car, and get the achievement, easy come, easy go. This was also enough time for Mr. Hands to gather the confidence to call me, and I head over to meet him in person. I drive over to his hotel, park up, and some rich twat parks their car on my new car. You fucker! Who does that to someone? Can't have shit in Dogtown. Pissed, I head upstairs to meet with Mr. Hands and have a chat on how to get into the Black Sapphire. In return for a ticket into the party, I agree to help Mr. Hands with some jobs. Which is a win-win, honestly. A fancy party and achievements? Fuck yeah! I head outside, email the tickets to Idris Elba, and make my way to the bar, where I quickly proceed to have another seizure. Ugh, great. Now I need to explain this to my new friends. Thanks, Keanu Reeves. After a quick heart-to-heart, Idris Elba from Beautiful Mother shows me his secret basement, and we go over the plan to get into the Black Sapphire party. Except I lost the footage.
Boo! You suck! Chad Gregg is better!
I know. Sue me. But I've gone ahead and made an artistic recreation of this mission. So you probably won't see any differences, but I like to be transparent about these things. So, what happened next was, Idris and I snuck up to the Black Sapphire. I had drunk some champagne, and I mean lots of champagne. I met up with Songbird, who pointed me towards these two French ginger people. So I bet all my life savings on black to impress them, and we leave. Easy peasy. But now, the last step of our master plan can begin. I head up to a vantage point and wait for my ginger friends to drive past. When they do, I follow them and hide in the boot of their car, because I just love them so much. I hack the car, and as they drive away, I take control and take my new friends back to nearly die. I can drive, I promise. I eventually get them back to base, where they're promptly palpatined and shot in the face. With that, I get dressed for the occasion and do the face transformation thing from before to become French and drive off to the stadium to meet with Hansen and Songbird. We arrive, drop off our weapons and have a little chat about terrorism with Hansen before Songbird arrives to start the plan. We make our way to this thing, and the game presents me with a choice. Who do I betray? Well, Songbird, obviously. What kind of fucking question is that? Well, she isn't too happy with this, so grasses up Alex, who Hansen proceeds to immediately kill before going full Electro and starts killing fucking everyone. I chase after her, killing all the goons in my way, and eventually run into Hansen to have a boss battle with. I eventually take his life, and his gun, before running to catch up with Songbird. As I get to the car park, Idris Elba from This Christmas arrives to rescue me, and we make our escape. Once we finally get to safety, we find out that Songbird has only gone and got herself caught by Max Tech. So we need to break her out. After finding a hacker to send us the convoy details, we set up an ambush and rain hellfire on these corporate assholes. Especially you, Dallas Foster. All this fighting gave Songbird the perfect opportunity to escape, and drives off in her prison van. And oh look, Idris has got himself shot as well. Thanks a lot. Now alone, I track Songbird, who crashed herself into an underground bunker, and dive in after her, much to her displeasure. I make my way through the spooky basement, walking through Songbird's memories or something, and run into this fucking death robot of death. After running, dying, running, and hiding from the killer robot, I sneak around finding key parts to enter the next section. Basically, this mission is Resident Evil 2, but instead of a trenchcoat zombie, there's a yellow robot trying to kill me instead. I head further down the compound and find that Songbird has hidden herself in some kind of orb TARDIS thing. So I sneak around again, trying to disable the orb while staying away from the not so friendly robot. I eventually do so, and quickly make my way back to the orb. But as I'm about to enter, the robot comes back for one last scrap. But instead of getting a boss fight, we just get a Songbird flashback sequence. Well, since I'm here, I might as well have a chat to her to maybe calm her down. Oh, would you look at that? It calmed her down and killed the robot. Oh, maybe the power of friendship is the strongest bond in the world. Well, time to kill Songbird. Conveniently, Idris Elba runs in at this exact moment and he isn't too happy. Flash forward to the most awkward car ride ever. Idris drives us to meet with Mrs. President. Songbird's body is taken while I have a polite argument with the President and have a sit down with Idris Elba, who pretty much tells me to fuck off before walking into the sunset. And as the credits roll, I get the achievement King of Cups. Right, well, that was awkward. So, I'm going to do what I always do in these awkward situations. Travel back in time. I mean, I prefer my time machines more blue, but this will do nicely. Okay, systems ready. Date set, flux capacitor fluxing, ready to go. Time to go back to the previous save file. Right, back with Songbird in front of this cool machine. And you know what? I'm going to get revenge for Idris Elba making me feel bad. Get fucked. So, in this timeline, Alex kills Hansen and Songbird hacks the entire stadium, giving us the opportunity to escape. I punch everyone in my way, while Songbird hacks various objects as we make our way out the sewers and eventually escape into Dogtown. From here, Songbird says we need to split up and wait for the heat to die down before we can make our final escape. And as I watch her leave, I realise nothing matters. This ain't my timeline, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Pop back a few days earlier and have no consequences. So, I go on a murder spree. Going through Dogtown, gunning down any poor fucker that gets in my way, and eventually gets a 5-star wanted level, gaining the attention of Max Tech, and getting the achievement, the APB is not enough. After successfully hiding from the police, Songbird calls me and says she's ready to leave. So I head out, meet her in a dark alley, and we make our way to the airport. But turns out, Songbird didn't get us any tickets. And she forgot her passport. And I'm a walking weapon of mass destruction. So I guess we were lying our way through. I head in, Songbird hacks security, and I make my way through to the back rooms and up to the roof to pull Songbird up with me. And as we're walking towards the plane, however, Songbird informs me that Idris Elba has only gone and grassed us up, and is bringing Mrs. President to the airport to beat the shit out of us. Though this isn't really a complication, as I mow down America's finest with ease, dodge helicopter gunfire, and escort Songbird to the top of the control tower so she can hack a train. You really are a one-trick pony, aren't you, Songbird? I defend Songbird while she's hacking, but eventually get overwhelmed, and we have to work together to explode with a huge burst of energy, killing every soldier around us. We continue the streak and proceed to Rogue One the shit out of soldiers in front of us as we make our way to the train. If you've never been on the London Underground, this is pretty much what it's like. While on the train, we have a little heart-to-heart as I discover that the whole hacker powers thing has broken my head, and Songbird admits that she lied and she can't cure me of my Keanu disease. So what the fuck was all this for then, Songbird? As she passes out, I pick her up and start heading towards the ship where... shit. Idris Elba from The Gospel steps out and tries to stop me. So I do the only reasonable thing. Shoot him in the air. With the last obstacle out the way, I strap Songbird into the rocket and watch it blast off into the stars, giving me the achievement, King of Wands. But shooting Idris made me sad. And the best way to cheer me up is with time travel. So here we go again. Right, back on the train. Let's get it right this time. I call up Idris Elba and come to an agreement. Songbird for a cure. So I bring Songbird straight to him and we watch him take her straight to the government. He tells me to forget everything and flies away with Songbird, giving me the achievement, the King of Swords. And I've come to a realization. Idris Elba being sad makes me sad. So one last time, let's hop into this time machine, boot everything up, and race back to the first ending. Okay, back in the huge TARDIS room. Before I see Songbird for the last time. I walk in, try my absolute best not to kill Songbird before Idris Elba can come in and save her. And this time around, the car cutscene is slightly less awkward. But only slightly. We reach the meeting point, tell the president to fuck off, and head over and have another sit down with Idris Elba, where we have a much more pleasant conversation than before, as he walks out into the desert again, giving me the good timeline and the achievement, the King of Pentacles. So, with Phantom Liberty all wrapped up, it's time to do what I've been putting off for a while. It's side content time! What? I wasn't going to end the game with Night City looking like this. It's Night City, not Night Shitty. So, first things first, I need to... right. I need to finish Dogtown first. And turns out, Mr. Hands has someone in mind to replace Hansen after I dismembered him. So we have a chat, and Hands wants this guy called Chester Bennett in charge, and wants Diego to lose the race. I do the face morph thing again to become someone named Aguilar, and head over to the meet and threaten Diego into giving up his position. And with that, Mr. Hands wants to make sure the position is secure, so I head over to Hansen's funeral and convince Diego to give up, which he does. But this isn't good enough for Bennett, who proceeds to shoot him in the face. I mean, it can't be any more guaranteed than that, I suppose. I quickly take my leave and get the achievement Spin Doctor for my troubles. Next on the Dogtown agenda, mini-bosses. There are 3 people marked as increased criminal activity, and it's my job to go in and take them down. And oh my god, they're so fucking easy. I assume they'd be harder if I wasn't at max level, but hey, what's done is done. And killing all 3 gives me the achievement, Judgment Day. Next is the relic trees. Remember? I mentioned it 12 pages ago. God, I hope you're paying attention. There are little terminals around Dogtown that you can hack for a relic perk point. These give some pretty cool upgrades, especially to my fists. And gathering all of them gives me the achievement, Relic Ruler. Now it's time for the tedious bit. I need to complete every sidekick and NCPD sighting on the map. And there are a lot. So I won't take up too much of your time, because God knows this video is long enough already. Basically, the gigs are decent side missions, each having a little story and some different objectives and actual care put into them. Cool! The NCPD sightings are boring, repetitive, go here and shoot people missions. Not cool. For completing every single one of these fucking missions, I get all these achievements. Oh, but that's not all. During these quests, I rank up the solo skill to 60 for the achievement 10 out of 10. I also find all those tarot cards I mentioned all the way back at the start of the video for the achievement, The Wandering Fool. And there's another type of side mission I haven't touched upon yet. CyberPsychos. Basically, people have had too many implants and turned into crackheads. There are 17 of these bastards around the map, and it's my job to hunt them down and kill them. Or not kill them sometimes, because the lady over the phone gets sad when I do. Either way, for stopping all the CyberPsychos, I get the achievement, I am the law. And all these random jobs has given me a lot of money. And since I already own a house, and the best fit in the game, I guess I'll go and spend my money on cars, like a true 1%er. So I go through and buy every single car in the game, and get the achievement, Auto Jock. Nice. Can't wait to not use any of this shit. Last thing I need to do is find all of the fast travel terminals, because apparently I missed some during all the side content. Not sure how I did that. I'm probably just bad. So I scoured the entire map, using various tools online to find the missing few, before finally getting the achievement, Frequent Flyer. Okay, so finally, after all of that, I think it's time to finish the game once and for all. Alright, I've kept Hanako waiting long enough, so I head over to Embers to finally meet with her. I head up the lift to say hello, and she basically yaps on about how she wants me to kill her brother. Jesus, this family's fucked, you know that, right? Before we can continue our pleasant fratricide conversation, however, I get another USB seizure and head outside for some air, but end up passing out and waking up in Victor's clinic. Victor tells me that I'm out of time, and need to make a decision on how to cure my Keanu disease. So I head up to the roof with Misty before telling her to fuck off, and I decide my fate. After much deliberating, I decide that Rogue and Keanu Reeves from Fortnite should storm Arasaka together. So I give up control to Keanu, and watch as he heads straight over to the afterlife to convince Rogue to help. It doesn't take much to convince her, and we start to plan on how to get into Mikoshi. We gear up, convince Alt to crash a satellite into a building, and fly off towards Arasaka Tower. On our way there, we watch the satellite fall out the sky before being shot at and crashing through Arasaka's window. So now that stealth is an option, I punch my way through all of Arasaka's forces, have a few awkward lift chats, and finally make my way to Rikoshi. Only to be interrupted by this cunt who...
Eat shit and die, bastard!
Oh, you bastard! I imagine this boss fight was supposed to be harder, but I beat his ass into the ground with just my fists, because I'm built different. I head into Mikoshi, connect to the ominous pillar, and transport myself into the brain hurt zone, and find... myself? Oh, right, yeah, I'm playing as Keanu Reeves right now. Oh, this is all so confusing. Alt finally shows up and tells us that only one of us can live. So I obviously choose myself. It's not that hard of a choice. I say goodbye to Keanu Reeves as he plummets into the light, and I wake up in a luxury penthouse. And after getting dressed and armed, I jump into a flying Uber and learn I'm the boss of the afterlife? Oh fuck yeah, this is the best ending. Nothing can ruin this. Except for Mr. Blue Eyes, Yu-Gi-Oh's #1 fan, who promptly sends me into space. I equip my gear, open the airlock, and set my sights on the space casino, and fly out as the game cuts to credits and gives me the achievements, the world, and the sun. Oh, goosebumps, man. But that was fun. It's a shame Rogue had to die, though. Wait, she doesn't have to die. I can fix that. I can save her. Okay, back on Earth. Gotta make this quick. Everything's green. We're good to go. It's time to make a different decision. Okay, back on the roof. Time to make a different call. Time to call Pan Am. I call her up, and she's well on board with storming the biggest company in the city, and meets me at Misty's shop to take me back to camp. We arrive and discuss how we're going to get inside Arasaka. Luckily, we stole that tank earlier, so that makes our lives just a little bit easier. So, after another quick chat with Alt, and finally becoming an Aldecaldo, I have a quick sleep and get ready for the raid in the morning. I wake up, watch Saul's reconnaissance, and jump into the tank and race towards the gates. We arrive at the front gates and... oh, Pan I have hyped up this tank. Please don't let it be a massive letdown. I defend Pan while she fixes the tank long enough for it to get back up and running. And finally, we blow these Ara fuckers to pieces. Oh, for fuck's sake, Pan. So I jump out the tank and shoot all the enemies on foot. I defend Pan again, and this time ram the tank into the tunnel that takes us all the way to Arasaka Tower. Now that we're in, Pan, Saul and I sneak our way through the tower, use a little gift from Alt to explode everyone's heads, and finally arrive at Mikoshi when this cunt comes back and... Oh, you're fucking with me. After a second boss fight with the big man himself, I get to the ominous pillar again, get to the brain hurt room, and I'm presented with the same choice as before. So obviously I pick Keanu. Ah, whoops. Well, let's see how this plays out. I wake up in a dingy apartment, packed and ready to leave Night City for good. I head down the hall and pick up this kid called Steve so he can drive me into the city. I tell his dad to fuck off, and we drive to a guitar shop. The store clerk lets us in the back to try out some tunes. We play for a bit, buy a guitar, and head out to our next destination, the graveyard. We arrive, and I head over to V's grave niche to say goodbye one final time, before he hops onto a bus, leaving Night City for good, and becoming the person he's wanted to be the whole game. Johnny Silverhand, Night City legend. And gives me the achievement, Temperance. Alright, enough of that. This is my story, not his. So let's hop back in and pick the right option. Okay, back in the headache room. And this time, I'm taking my body back. As I do, I wake up in a car on the dam looking over Night City. I get out, walk over to see Pan as we say our goodbye to Night City, and drive off to meet the rest of the surviving Aldecaldos and... the tank! Oh, the best Aldecaldo. We jump into the tank and ride off to the outer limits with the Aldecaldos before breaking through the barrier, finally free of Night City. And as Pan and I sit on the tank, looking out to the future, the credits roll and I get the achievement, the star. Another nice ending, but I don't really want to leave Night City. I mean, I've put a lot of work into it. So, one more little trip won't hurt anyone, right? Oh, all this time jumping is making my head spin. But that's okay, because I've gotten where I need to be, back on Misty's roof. I call up Idris Elba from Sorted to get him to meet me here. His people promptly arrive in a flying car and fly me out to America's finest hospital, and surprisingly free of charge. They put me to sleep, and I wake up to Idris Elba. Oh, what a pleasant sight. He tells me that the surgery was a success. They removed the USB that's been stuck in my head all game, but at the cost of no more cyberware. What the fuck? Oh, also, I was out for 2 years or something, but I guess he doesn't know I have a time machine. So, because my own life is down the shitter, Idris offers me a job at the government, which I promptly decline and go about calling my friends from my old life. Except River. Turns out, all my old friends are too busy to see me after my surgery, the arseholes. So I guess I'm going to see my old doctor. I get a robo-Uber back into Night City, head through the alley to Victor's clinic, running into some thugs on the way, and have a chat to Victor about the old times. He runs a diagnosis and tells me I'm fucked. Great. Thanks, man. I take my leave and head out into the streets of Night City, where I'm jumped by those thugs from before, who just straight up punch me down some stairs and nick all of my shit. Misty then wakes me up and we have a chat about what it's like to be normal and why she was leaving Night City. She helps me up and those pricks stole my clothes as well. I say goodbye to Misty and wander off into the streets of Night City to become a face in the crowd. Or at least I would, if I had my fucking clothes on. But as the credits roll, I get the achievement, the tower. Right, well, I don't want to be some naked nobody in Night City. I want to be a legend. So let's just go back one more. What the fuck? Alright, that felt different that time. But I'm back on Missy's roof. I have all my stuff, and I'm a guy now? Alright, something is really off. I fucked a time and it fucked right back. Let's just call up Arasaka so I can sort this mess out. I call up Hanako and accept her offer and wait for my escort to arrive. So I head downstairs, chat with Misty, and... Takamura! Oh my god, I thought you died! Oh, nothing bad can happen in this timeline. Nothing at all. Oh, and Hellman's here as well. You remember him? I don't. The three of us make our way to Hanako's estate, run some poor schmuck down in our car, and sneak into the house to meet with Hanako, and take a flying car straight into Arasaka Tower. As we arrive, Hanako takes me into her office and into a secret room to reveal that the old guy from the start of the game has only gone and saved himself on a USB to retake control of Arasaka. So he's taking the Palpatine approach. Sure. We then walk into a meeting of Arasaka suits to reveal said plan, which not everyone agrees with. Turns out, Yorinobu has sent some Arasaka people to kill Arasaka people. Look, I'm about as lost as can be right now. So I just hack and slash my way through Arasaka Tower with Takamura before arriving at Yorinobu's quarters, and... You know what? I really wasn't missing this gun. Takamura and I work together to take down the big guy, and finally head to the door to find Yorinobu sitting on the floor. I chat to him until Hanako arrives to put their dad's brain in his body, and I head off to get the USB out of my head. You know the deal at this point. Headache room, tell Keanu Reeves to fuck off, and head into my body. And this time, in an Arasaka compound in space. Here, they put me through rigorous tests, like a treadmill and a Rubik's Cube, which I apparently suck at. Eventually, Takamura comes in and offers me a choice. I get stored on a USB, or die by winter. See, Takamura, that's why we're friends. You just say it how it is. I think it through, and all this time travel needs to stop. The timelines are already fucking up. I mean, Takamura's alive, for God's sake. So, to save the world, to save time, I agree to be stored in a USB and get led into the operating room. I sit in the chair, await the procedure to begin, and become one with the stars, earning the achievement, the Devil. And as the credits roll for the final time, my time with this game is over. And I gotta say, everyone was right. The game is so much better than when it was first released. But even the original stuff is incredible. The characters are lovable, the quests are varied, and the city, oh, Night City might just be one of my favourite open world settings in games. It just looks so good. If you missed out on Cyberpunk on release, definitely give it a go with Phantom Liberty. It is truly an exceptional game. But what about the trophy grind? Well, as long as you don't fuck up and get one of your mates killed like I did, it's a great time. Overall, I give this 100% a Keanu Reeves out of 10. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this marathon of a video. This has been a massive undertaking, and hopefully it's come out just as enjoyable as it was to make. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date, as I have another big game in the pipeline. Take care.